Good morning, Sunday morning grind. Definitely had an interesting experience this weekend. I so I ended up going to my partner's grandmother's 90th birthday. Cool event, awesome. Definitely some highlights. Got to meet a lot more people in her family, a lot more of the extended people. And then this is now a couple big, broader family events I've been to. So being able to kind of integrate with her family a bit more is pretty cool. Not mad at that. And it seems like I'm generally accepted. I'm definitely more on the quiet side. And, it takes me a little bit to kind of really kind of start interacting like that, which is fine. It's not, the important broad strokes are there. I'm there for the major events, and I treat my partner like a queen. So, and they see that. They see how happy she is. So, definitely a good thing there. Oh, and then another good thing too. My partner's brother, him and some of the other family members have started their own band, and they did their first little mini show, played a couple songs. And so I got to help them kind of set up for that and sound check, and it was really fun kind of being back around live music, even if it's such a small low key setup. I miss live music a lot. I'm sure a new video is going to come from that. But yeah, definitely an interesting thing, and I'm going to call it a culture shock, not because, I'm white and or Filipino, but just because, I didn't grow up with strong family ties and a strong family bond. At our most crowded, family events, Christmas, Thanksgiving, was me, my brother, which were the only small kids, and then my mom, my dad, my uncle and his partner, my mom's brother, and then my grandma, her sister and husband, their 2 adult children, and then at one point my great grandparents. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is that 14? Maybe 16 people? So, for me, that was a ton of people. Realistically, that's barely anything. And so, that was, being there where, if I had to put a head count, I'd put it, over 50, maybe close to 100 people. A lot of family members, a lot of partners, a lot of other kids and everything. That was, and then, they're a boisterous family. What I mean, they're very extroverted, very, not a lot of shy people there. And, that's a great thing. I love that for them. Can you not, you stupid motherfucker? Every motherfucker with his bicycles can't even drive properly. Damn. But yeah, very extroverted people, and it was just very uncomfortable for me because I am more introverted. I've never had those big family experiences like that. Because realistically, those family gatherings I was talking about, that was my entire family. Because, because beyond that, I had a grandpa who I saw maybe 3 times in my life, who I don't even know where he was. He was never a fixture. And then my dad's parents, who lived in Washington and don't celebrate holidays anyway because they were Jehovah's Witness. So, that was the whole family. And so, family events for me when I was young like, me and my brother were off doing one thing. I normally found some kind of musical instrument, was playing around with that, or like for like they had like computer games, I was doing that. And then like my mom and dad's generation, so them, my uncle, the two adult cousins who are the same age, around the same age as my mom, they would be doing their own thing. And then you had like the elders, the old, my grandma, her sister and husband, and then my great grandparents. And so it was very, very tiered like that. There wasn't a lot of intermix between those. Yeah, I mean, it was interesting. Yeah, so like being around a family that's that heavily integrated, that isn't any of those, like, there was like little smaller subgroups, but there wasn't like clear defined like ranking, like status levels or whatever, age groups there. And yeah, like a lot of people just randomly coming up and talking to me, like, hey, how's it going, blah 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 blah. Some people remembered stuff about me, which I feel bad because I'm barely remembering these people's names, to the point that like I have trouble remembering the name of my partner's brother's girlfriend or her sister, and I see them decently often, and I can sit there and really think about it and focus on it, and I can come up with the girlfriend's name. I cannot come up with the sister's name to save my life. And it's not, I'm not great with names, and then like I'm not great at connections either. Like, it's, I'm not able to like meet someone, immediately remember their name, immediately, cool, boom, we have a bond, and that's gonna stick with me. I'm not built to people like that. I have to work at it, and I do try to work at it, and I've gotten better than I was. But it's still kind of stressful, especially when they all seem to remember me fine. One of the cool things, though, I do want to bring up, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but like, it means a lot to me that I am enthusiastically introduced. What I mean by that is that there's, because there's a big difference between like, I'm with my partner, and people come up and like, oh, who's this, right? They see her, blah blah blah, and then they ask me who I am, and and that's cool, and then whatever. But the fact that like we would say hi to people, and then she would immediately be like, oh, and this is my boyfriend Eddie, and this is my partner Eddie, and like that was multiple times, and it's really feels good here, because like I like the idea of someone being very happy and very proud to introduce me. It means a lot. It really does. Yeah, so that's cool. And like I said, like the fact that I am, so far it seems like I am being accepted pretty well. Like, the most interrogation I've really gotten was at a different party a while back, where they kind of asked, they're like, oh, so what do you do? And I was like, oh, I'm a plumber. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And my read on that basically was they wanted to see if I was doing like a decent job. Like, if I'm going to be in the family, I'm going to be, like I'm going to be with in this case, it was, I was talking to the uncles, the Titos. Like, it was, basically I want to make sure that, like, oh, I've got, like, a decent job, and I'm able to provide, which I do alright for myself. But yeah, beyond that, like, the most comments I've gotten is like, oh, you guys are really cute together, or like, oh, she looks really happy with you. Really happy. When people say that, that's the one that makes me feel the best. I love that I make her so happy that other people see it. did win a bunch of extra brownie points yesterday. She came to the event in these really, really cool, like 4-inch heeled boots that looked really awesome. They were definitely uncomfortable though, so halfway through she switched into some shoes. And so, so she sat down and I took her boots off, put her shoes on for her, got her all tied up and everything. And that definitely got some comments like, oh, look at him, like, that's so cute, so romantic, he's a gentleman, like, yeah. So I like it, and that stuff I do anyway. So, like, but it's one of those things where, as someone who wants to be liked and seen as a positive part of, of the family, little stuff like that, stuff I'm already doing anyway, goes a long way towards building that thing of, like, because, yeah, I may not be super social, like, because it's probably going to be like, yeah, no, he's kind of quiet, but, he's a good person, and he treats her like a queen, so, and those are mainly the things I want, and I'll open up to these people more, and I think one of the things I'm really going to try to focus on is, having a good relationship with my partner's peers. Because, like, those are the ones that are good. Because, like, here's the thing, as I'm sitting there and I'm observing and watching, especially when we went to her uncle's house afterwards, and, and, like, I saw that there was a lot of camaraderie between, like, the siblings and the siblings' partners, and, like, of that age range, right? Like, siblings, because all of them who kind of grew up together and their partners who they've brought in. A lot of camaraderie, a lot of bonds. And so, like, definitely it's one of those things where I want to make sure I am helping my partner to continue to cultivate that with her own peers, with her own siblings, and with the, with the, oh, easy there, Tiger. But yeah, like, with her own siblings and the cousins in her age bracket and everything, and their partners and their friends. So, like, I want to make sure she's continuing to cultivate that and do what I can to support that, and maybe integrate some of my own people in there. I mean, that would be awesome. Like, I definitely have my own kind of subset of friends. We kind of do our own things. It'll be easier too once her and I live together, because then we can, like, kind of host, like, more like mixed style parties, like get some of her people to come over, get some of my people to come over, and mix it up. Obviously, I can't get my people over at her family's birthday event thing, of course, but you know what I mean. And then it is one of those things too where, watching this thing, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I don't want to have parties like this for me. Because, like, they rented out, like, the Veterans Hall in nearby city, just where one of the uncles lives, and full-on catering, open bar, like, great time, great event, but I'm like, I do not want something like this. Basically what they did was, they got all the family, everybody together, gave a bunch of speeches about her grandma and, like, the legacy that she has, and she's lived a dope life. She was a journalist. She was, she was a working woman. She was a badass. She raised 7 or 8 kids, something like that. I can't remember the exact number. Immigrated from from the Philippines to America, like, just, had an awesome life, like, strong woman. And it was, and I could tell, like, it was an event for her. It was also an event for the family, in the sense of, like, it was a celebration of the family as well as her. Because, listen, it was her, and because honestly, it was like her, and then, like, all of the children, cousins, like if you were to make a pyramid, she was at the top of the pyramid, and everything filtered down from her. And that's cool. That's awesome. And if that's the type of party that you're into, that's dope. That's not the type of party I'd be into. And it's one of those things where I'm kind of glad that, like, my family circle right now, realistically, is tiny. Because, I mean, of my family members, I only have 3 I talk to. I mean, and even then, like, with all of us, like, we don't, like, interact that much. Like, you know, I talk to my brother every once in a while. I talk to my dad every once in a while. I talk to my uncle every once in a while. Checking with them, every, you know, a little bit here and there. I'm trying to make it a point to check in with people more. And just like, hey, just checking how you're doing. Like, especially with friends. Like, I'm trying to cultivate some of those friendships a little bit more. But yeah, I don't know. I'm too introverted for a massive party like that. I especially don't want to be the center of attention for 50 to 100 people. I am perfectly happy being the center of attention to 10 to 15 close friends while we do something fun like karaoke or something like that, where I'm not constantly the only center of attention. I know it sounds weird for someone who enjoys being on stage so much, but I'm not always consistent. But yeah, no, it was really good. It was a lot of fun. And definitely good to be able to, like, connect with their family some more. I really got to remember names and faces. It's going to be very hard for me. I'm getting better, though, but I'm going to have to make, like, flashcards or something. I'm sure my partner's going to watch this and she's going to laugh her ass off at this, so there you go. Alright, bye.